URT. Who are we? URT. Big up the United Real Therapy Army. New era begins, people. New era begins. How are we doing, people? Big up early birders are already here. The early birders, man like Jamie Wayne says, let's go. I'm revealed. Oh my God, I'm so relieved. Big up. King So. Yeah, big up. Done deal, confirmed. Big up. Come on, lads. Everyone smash the likes. I can see everybody's giddy. People like Jamie Wayne are getting giddy. I see Giddy Army tonight in the chat. But big up to everybody. Welcome to United Real Therapy. We're asking the key questions tonight. No other channel is asking these kind of questions, I personally believe. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this channel is asking these questions. And the questions are simple, people. The questions are simple. The questions are simple. The questions are simple, people. The questions are simple. Let me just reply to this message. But yeah, the questions are simple. And basically, they are, can Amorim take us on a journey? Can he take us on a journey? Can he get us something to get behind, right? So this is what I just wrote now. This is what the question is tonight. We're going to be discussing two questions. Two questions and two questions on. So the first question is, first thing is, welcome to Man UFC Amorim. We hope you can give us something to get behind. How long would he have for that to happen? How long do we expect for that? And how much time and patience does Amorim need from the fan base? That's the other question. So welcome to Man UFC Amorim. We hope you can give us something to get behind. That's up to him. But how much time and patience does Amorim need from us? That's the other bit, people. That is the other bit. That is where we're at. So talk to me, people. Talk to me. There you go. Jamie Wayne says, I need a therapy after shit we've been for past few months. Yeah, big up to you, Jamie. I'm happy for you. To be fair, I'm happy for fans like you. Like I said, my expectations is not high. It's not low. It's just like, I've been in like I said, we've been in dark places, people. So nobody's getting giddy here. We've been in dark places. So nobody is getting giddy here. Nobody's getting giddy here. Nobody, for me personally, I'm like 13 years in the doldrums. So what am I supposed to get giddy about? Managers who go and do it in other countries and come here and try to adapt to the Premier League, different beast, different animal. It's a different beast and a different animal. And we still got prima donnas at our football club. I'm a believer. There are players at our football club. I'm a believer. There are players at our football club that the club, the whole brand of the football club is built around. And that the people who are hiring, I know that for 100% for a fact, that the Glazers with Arnold and that were asking Ten Hag that he had to improve, get the best out of Rashford and Bruno and these guys. And that's what the assurances they wanted. We know that for 100% fact. We know that people like Martial and Pogba and these guys didn't get sold when Pogba wanted to leave. And Jose Mourinho, who wanted to ask to get rid of certain players, they said no. So that's the Glazers. We'll find out what Ineos has. And in this, I'm guessing these negotiations that's going on between Amorim and Ineos hierarchy as we speak right now. But for me, I do not want any manager to be hamstrung by prima donna fucking footballers. And we know who they are. We know who they are. Everybody knows who they are. And the brand is built around them. Brand is built around them. And these favoritism bullshit. So for me, the two questions we're asking tonight is clear and simple, and no other channel is doing this level of analysis. We're not going to go into get graphs out on that. This is what he did in the Portugal League. This is what he... Listen, that don't mean fuck all to me, what you do in Portugal, what you do wherever else, because we've been had before, right? The most important thing is, can you come to this fucking football club, adapt quickly, very quickly to the players that you have, and actually get them playing in a cohesive way together on a football pitch that we can get behind. So the questions is tonight. First of all, welcome to Manchester United, Amorim. We hope you can give us something to get behind. Something to get behind. Now, the other question is, how much time and patience does Amorim need from the fan base? How much should we give him? What should we give him? And is there conditions for somebody to get impatient? That is the questions, and that's the crux of it. That's the conversation we're going to be having tonight. So big up to everybody. I'd like to welcome Sean. Sean, obviously we've not spoken since the news has broken. Me and Lesso spoke yesterday. We went live here in the evening yesterday. I think it was at 4:30. So it's the first time I'm actually in the United Real Therapy speaking to Jarvis and Sean for their reactions. I'm going to mute. So Sean, first your reactions. Second, are you behind Amorim? Are you behind any manager, Manchester United? Is that your level of philosophy? You just get behind anybody, just like the majority, like sheep.
As you can see on my screen, I'm behind the manager, right? Like, I said it when Ten Hag was the manager. I support United. Ten Hag was our manager. I supported him. Now that we have a new manager, I support this manager. It doesn't mean that it's not that deep, right? Like, to me. To your questions, for me, I'm behind him simply because, right? Like, it's not conditioned on anything. I'm behind him because I want the team to succeed, right? And I agree with you that we can't start trying to analyze his track record in Portugal or his tactics or anything like that.
No. First, Sean, first before we come to Amorim, can you answer the reactions to Erik ten Hag being sacked? Then we could go to Amorim, because I've not heard from you. I've not heard from your opinions, similar to Jarvis. So go ahead, and then we'll go into Amorim.
So with regards to Ten Hag being sacked, right? I mean, I think my position was that he would have to deliver, or he would face the consequences, basically. And he has faced the consequences now. He has been sacked. For me, it's mixed feelings because as you guys know, and as people in the comments are eager to mention, I backed Ten Hag. I supported Ten Hag. I was looking forward to him succeeding. I hoped he would have succeeded. But we came into the season, everybody kind of on the same page relatively that there were no excuses to be made. He would need to deliver. I think where we differed was that I was willing to give him time, more time than apparently even the club seemed like they needed to. But that's what they're there for, right? That's what they need to do. They're there to make these tough calls when it seems like when it seems like chips are down. They're there to make these calls basically, and they did. So I think honestly, maybe we could have saved some time. Maybe we didn't need to drop points against West Ham because they could have sacked him by Spurs. Honestly, so maybe this took longer than it should have. But I think Ineos, I don't blame them for punting the decision basically in the summer, right? So I think it was reasonable of them to kick the count down the road, proverbially, right, and say, okay, let's see how this plays out. Our guys are only new in the job, only been there for a couple of months, so let's see how things play out. The manager was able to secure an FA Cup victory at the end of the summer. So let's see how things play out into the season. So I think they were right to punt that decision, which is what we described it, right? Because they didn't back him fully. They gave him an extension of his contract. They didn't give him a new contract. So it wasn't like a full backing. And it seemed like the signings that they were making in the summer, the way the club was moving, like they were trying to build the structure around, not around Ten Hag per se, but like around the manager, so that you could plug and play a different manager and things would still keep working, the same way they are. I don't know if you're trying to tell me something, Miriam. Or
1 second, Jarvis, check your phone.
So yeah, I think it makes sense for them to kick the can down the road, and now obviously it seemed like there was no way back. So good luck to Ten Hag, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, we move on. Like, that's it. Like, it's done, business dusted, and we move on.
Yeah, big up, Jarvis. Get your reaction.
I gotta say, people, you gotta remember, we are probably hiring a good manager now. He has a good track record. I like what I see from his 4-3-3 formation.
No. First, not with that. First, with the breaking on this channel of your reaction to Erik Ten Hag being sacked.
Oh yeah, the Erik Ten Hag. I'm done with Ten Hag. That's years ago. Things move so fast in this world. No, yeah. I'm okay with the Ten Hag going. It was time. He didn't get the best out of the players. So, but then again, I think it could have if he have given enough time. It's just the way it is. But we don't have the patience, we don't have the backing, and we don't have time for people exploring with Man United, trying to figure out what will be the best way to play with this group of players. I think Ten Hag had some good progress this season in tactical formation style and patterns and what he did. But we struggled a lot with but we saw it only in bits and pieces. 1 half here, 20 minutes there. So that was the biggest problem for Ten Hag. He couldn't get the players to perform at a consistent level. And I think it was time for him. The fan base was really toxic, and we started to hate on each other in the club. So I think it was a wise move from Ineos to remove him from the job. They should have done it, I would say, earlier, because that would probably be the best, in retrospect. But now, yeah. He's out, and I'm okay with it. But I want to talk about the new manager because
can I just ask you a question? Do you think that Erik Ten Hag had enough time, and do you think he was a dead man walking because of the way that they went up and on about it in the summer?
Ineos should have backed him 100% after the FA Cup final, for sure. They should have come out. Ten Hag is our man. We're backing him 100% all the way. That's how they should have done it. But they let him win. The fan base was in euphoria, and suddenly they were having an assessment period, and his job is on the line.
So
already then everything, Ten Hag's confidence and the confidence of the players in Ten Hag went away. He couldn't build on the FA Cup because of that, and I think that was a big problem for Ten Hag. So Ineos did a little bit of a mistake.
I took over the screen real quick, but I was reading the Athletics analysis of what happened, this season with Ten Hag, and to answer your question, Nuruddin, whether he should have been given time. Everything from here is post-Fergie, right? And this to me just screams a structural problem. It's a structural problem in a top league, and there's just no answer. Basically, there's no answer for what we can do, basically what we can do, or where the answer exactly is. So yeah, I don't know if he should have been given more time than he was. I think I would have preferred to give him a little more time, but I don't particularly care, right? The club decided it couldn't last. I think I agree with Jarvis that the fan base was becoming really toxic. I think the environment was just too everything. It became about everything else but football, So I think we needed a fresh start. But yeah, I think there's an uphill climb, right? They had some interesting data. Like this was their comparison of how our lowest ebb basically since Fergie retired, right? We've never reached the same heights of Fergie. Our peak was under Mourinho and briefly basically under Solskjaer. And yeah, it's a crisis basically. These are structural problems that I don't think a manager necessarily can solve, because all the managers that you see here are all different personalities, different tactical approaches, different ideas that United fans felt like we needed at the time, right? So yeah, I know we want to go into Amorim's style of play or tactics or anything like that, but I think to me the most important thing that he needs to have is personality. Like that's the number one thing that he needs to bring to the table. He needs to have a big personality and a big character. He needs to be able to put the dressing room in their place, put the media in their place, and put the fans basically in our place. But yeah, I don't think it matters, because Amorim is who Ten Hag was 3 years ago. He's a bright, young, exciting manager that many clubs in England or around the world are interested in. So like I just don't want. I'm having a sense of deja vu. Like, right, it's like it's the same narrative we're hearing, this feeling of like excitement and all of that. I just want us to finally, if this is the guy, let's give him time. Let's give him the time that he needs to build whatever, and hopefully he has the personality basically that I think the United manager will need, because we would need a unicorn basically. We need somebody who can come in and have that kind of like Klopp or Pep type of like
Savior. Hallelujah.
Yeah, no. Amen.
You want me to bring up the slides?
Yeah. 1 second. Just pick up. So just getting from both of you is that Erik ten Hag deserved more time, and the club should have given him more time. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No. So what I'm saying, right? Javi can speak for himself. What I'm saying is that I recognize that it was a really hard decision. I personally would have given him more time, but I think the people who get paid a shit ton of money get paid to make these calls, and I'm not invested enough to now hate the club or to now be move on. Yeah.
Okay, Jarvis, would you say that you actually believe that he needed more time?
Well, we got to put things in perspective and look at things differently, because when it comes to results, clearly wasn't good enough. The results were bad. Some of the performances was good. In my head, I saw a lot of things going on in this squad. We know we have problems with players, discipline. They run around, they can't follow orders, and we have seen this a lot of the time. So for me, I think Ten Hag needed the backing to get the players to understand how to play, and that he was the guy they should listen to, because we know this group of players, when you give them the little finger, they take the whole arm, and they smelled blood when Ineos didn't go out and back Ten Hag at the crucial moment in Ten Hag's managerial career at Man United. We saw it with players, for example, like Luke Shaw. Dumb as he is, went to the Euros instead of recover and be ready for next season, because he didn't have respect for Ten Hag. He chose to play for England. He didn't give a fuck, and that's him. And he's still injured. We have a lot of players with this mindset. They can do whatever they want. We have another one, Bruno. Always thinks he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, he can say yes, boss, when the manager tells him what to do. He will do it the first 20 minutes of the game. If there's still 0-0, he will take it upon himself to try to change the game. No matter the tactics or what you have planned, he will do it by himself, because he thinks he's fucking Superman. And that's a big problem with this squad. We have players.
Have you seen some of the reporting from that's what I kept some of the reporting from ESPN and the likes, talking about now that Ten Hag has gone, you're seeing all these news about the training was bad. So we're getting some of that reporting now about how some of the older players were complaining that they thought that they should have been put on individual training regimes, right? Because Ten Hag thinks everybody is young. Or there was another story about how the punishment that he gave to Sancho and Ronaldo, after a while, the players thought he was too harsh. Basically that some players felt like he was, playing favorites with Anthony. So I mean, do you think this new manager? He's also 39, right? Like, do you think this new manager is gonna have? And I guess it's for everybody, less so, and everybody else as well. Like this manager is gonna have is going to be able to get a grip basically of this team, because Ten Hag is talking about how when he came, he didn't realize just how powerful some of the players at United are, that they're not just players. Some of these guys are brands. They have like their whole team and everything. So like, do you think it's possible, or for this new manager to be able to even get a grip?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
That say again.
No, I'm asking if you think it's possible for any manager, especially this new manager, right, Ruben Amorim, to get a grip of the squad, to get a grip of the players in this dressing room, because people rightly pointed out that like it's not the same group of players that sacked Ten Hag, that sacked Ole, and that sacked Mourinho.
Yeah. But the problem is it's not the single player per se. But it's more about who the player become when they become a player for Man United. They become superstars, like influencers, big on social media. They tweet. They have huge tweet accounts. They have huge commercial deals. They go on thinking about themselves. They're not a part of the team. It's about them as individuals. So in a way, and their entourage, it grows massively as soon as they become a Man United player. And we have the biggest fan base after them all, and it affects the guys because they're not footballers anymore. They are so much more, and they get into politics and feeding kids, and it's all good and well, but they forget about what's important, and that's playing football. So in a way, I think this is why we need a manager with experience to handle a group of players like this. I don't think Amorim is the right man at the moment because of this. Yes, fantastic ideas as a manager, his tactics styles, super exciting, but he has no experience from the Premier League.
You don't think he's the right man?
He has never coached a big club in his life. This is Man United. We are a different beast, and I think if Ineos don't go pull in and back in for 3 seasons, no matter what, and I say no matter what, even if we are 14th after 10 games, no matter what, if they back in for 3 years, maybe he will succeed. If not, he will be eaten up alive and spit out. That's the thing.
I'm curious to hear what the other guys think. So backing no matter what 3 seasons, even if he comes 14th, even if it's like something interesting that I read today, like that to be United manager is to have
how is he supposed to learn on the job? He's not Superman.
Yeah.
He's not God. How can he come in and fix this? When we have had Mourinho, we have had Van Gaal, we have had Ole, who knew the club, we have had Ragnick, the godfather of Gegenpress, and now we have had Ten Hag, the wonder boy from Ten Hag from Ajax.
Yeah.
And suddenly Amorim from Sporting Lisboa, who never coached a big club in his life, is 39 years old. How is he supposed to come in and change everything? He's not our savior. That's people need to understand. It's not that easy.
No, but what I find interesting is what you're saying, that like he needs to be backed unconditionally for 3 years, even if for 14th. Because
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. The way the coaches get paid, they know the game, they know what they're coming into. Nobody's holding a gun to their head. He didn't know why he's coming. He has the ego, he has the personality to try to change it. Where I agree with Jarvis is that him alone can't do it. There has to be a massive cultural shift at the football club where some of these players that we've talked about, and we've talked about them and again, that he should be allowed to get rid of who the fuck he wants to get rid of, and he should work with a scouting team, with the staff, to highlight the players, and those have to work as a team. So it's got to be a team game. It can't be a one-person thing. It's got to be a team game where they decide the style of play, how they're going to play, and then they agree on the players and the positions. And his job would be to coach the fuck out of these players, to literally coach the fuck out of the squad, so that actually when we've got players out injured, we play the same way still. That to me is the most important thing. If I see that within the first year, within the first year and a half, I will be behind this guy, because for me, my biggest thing is I wear a lot of these hats. A lot of them, you know, I wear a lot of hats. I like to hang it on something. I want to hang my hat on something. Show me something to get fucking behind. If you don't show me, I knew it with Erik ten Hag, that what he was showing me 8 months, 7.5 months, and I told you here, I came here and I said to you guys, I don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. I don't see how we can be sustainable with this football. And I specifically said, and this is where I agree with Jarvis, that the Premier League is a different fucking animal. There's no other league like it in world football. The only league that's super close.
You don't want to give a manager.
So
like
let me finish.
3 years of
let me finish.
Full-time backing.
Sean, please let me finish. The Premier League is like no other beast. The only managers and coaches who have survived in this league have been people who literally go all out to create identity and structure and team cohesion straight away. They will try to create that, and then the fans go, we're in. We're in. Like they were with Klopp. Klopp is the clearest example for me. Jurgen Klopp was the clearest example. He came in towards mid-season. He had a lot of players to clear up, but straight away he came in and said, you know what? Every Liverpool fan they can hang their hat on something. There was never in doubt that there's something they can hang their hat on. Now, he was far more experienced than Amorim, Ruben Amorim. I mean, you've got people like Eriksen who played against him, Casemiro who faced him.
Yeah, Lindelof played in the same team, I think, as well.
Yeah, so these guys, he was the right back. Lindelof was the centre back in that team. I remember I saw him at Old Trafford. I watched him as a right back. And then I was trying to remember, you know, I'm like, shit, he's that guy. He's that guy when we played Benfica. Like, it's crazy. So, but anyway, so for me, I think the conversation is more nuanced. But for me, the most important thing is I wear my opinion on my sleeve. I never follow no fucking crowd. I don't. I just see it. I call it as I see it. You can you can disagree. You can agree with me. You can. But one thing about me is that my takes are things that I believe, and they're my opinions that I believe and that I put out into the world. I don't do it for clicks. I don't do it for likes. I don't do it to be controversial. I just go. I see it. It's either you see it or you don't see it. So it's like,
yeah, but
now
really,
you see me.
put yourself in the shoes of the Ineos board now, right? Like, put yourself in the shoes of the board. Does the manager get time?
I'll answer that question. So exactly what Jarvis said, and I don't mean to be parroting Jarvis tonight. I don't know if I'm parroting,
okay.
But they have to go all in. They have to go all in. And now, specifically, now that we have football structure, basically on the new Carrington, Sean, you have the coach's office here. You have the director of football's office here. Then you got the technical director's office here. So every single day in Carrington, in and around training, the idea that it was only this manager that's going to have to discipline, they have to get involved. They have to tell the truth to the players, and they have to say to players, like he said on the video, Jarvis, and most of you who pay attention, when we got Omar Barada was like, if you come and take the piss out of a football club, you'll be gone with the season after. And that's what Man City used to do. Man City would get rid of players that they think that thought, you're a bit comfortable here. That is not getting behind the main ethos and the cultural change. Now, the only thing is that we got a broke billionaire who's taking over football. Man City could do it. Manchester City could get 2 players. They're not doing great. January, they were phased out. 2 more new players were bought in. Do you understand? And that's why they're facing the charges they're facing, because they used to do that. Honestly, if you look at the turnover, if you type in the turnover of players under Pep Guardiola and Man City, you'll be fucking shocked. And if you even go further and type
everything you're saying sounds like all the more reason why a manager like Amorim needs to be given this time to fail, possibly, make mistakes, and end up at 14th because the people you're comparing him to.
No, it depends.
With
No,
Pep
it depends,
stayed
Sean.
back. Okay.
Well, he will make
No, it
mistakes.
depends,
He
Sean.
will make
Listen,
mistakes.
Sean,
Okay.
Sean, of course
Sure,
he's going to
yeah.
make mistakes. He's never played in the Premier League. But what I'm saying to you is, for people like me, it's not about that you make fucking mistakes. It's not about you lose games or you draw or the position. For me, the first season is a hit. The first season for me is a hit. It's a free hit. I'm never gonna go for the first season unless the football is so atrocious, which I was shocked that you guys were sat here watching that and getting like Ten Hag tell you, oh, it was the injuries when he was playing the basketballification of football in fucking Champions League. Like, and we had the worst record in Manchester United history against Copenhagen and fucking Galatasaray and Bayern Munich. So for me, this idea is that unless he gets so clearly he's out of his depth, then he will have to sack himself because there isn't anything improvement that not just me, but the director of football, the technical director, the staff at Carrington could hang on. For me, the first season to any new manager is a hit because I know and understand the uniqueness and the challenges that
I'm trying to get
for you.
I'm trying to get you to see it from a different perspective. I understand that you're looking for a specific
No, I'm not
thing,
finished,
right?
Sean. Sean, I'm not finished my answer.
What would it take for him to keep his job?
For me, it's the style of play. It's the patterns and the styles of play. If I see Manchester United playing with clear, creating chances, opening teams up, sustaining possession of the pitch, regardless what happens, what players are on the pitch, Manchester United are playing a high line in a very compact way. We're squeezing the game. We're not going to go, oh, we're playing like this team. We're going to go back to fucking playing counter-attack football. No. I want the manager and the players I want a guy who dies on his hill. So then I can say, honestly, deep down in my heart, I can actually see what's happening and the improvement is going to come. That is me. I'm not like every Manchester United fan. So that don't mean that. It doesn't matter. I just said I was trying to get you to look at it from a different perspective. It matters to me. After the first season, it matters to me about how we fucking lose.
So the point I'm trying to make is that, like, I agree with you that many fans will support a manager who is able to implement a style of play and is able to get us in the right direction. But I think specifically at United, because of everything that you just described, all the context, the fact that it's not Klopp and Liverpool, it's not step back to Man City. At United, a manager needs to be able to deliver pretty much with like one hand slightly tied behind his back. Right, because there are going to be handicaps, basically, that he's going to have to deal with, and because of that, he's going to need, I think, a lot more time than we're reckoning with. Right, so he would have to deliver, I think, trophies in addition to, because that's the standard that everybody's pining for. He's going to have to deliver not just a style of play, but results on the pitch as well. Because Klopp, like the example that you mentioned, Klopp didn't just give Liverpool fans good vibes. He gave them results, like he gave them concrete, results on the pitch and in terms of trophies, basically. So whoever the new manager Amorim is going to need to, in addition to a style of play, he's going to need to deliver basically in the business end, right? Or it's going to get toxic, I think, fast. As much as even though you might end up being on the other side of the in or out conversation, right? This time you might be Amorim in when I was previously you were. Ten Hag out, but I think he's gonna. I'm with Jarvis on him needing time. On question, just okay. We're giving you're our guy. First season is a free hit, pretty much through the second season. From year 3, we will start looking to see the progress that basically I've done. And regardless of what happens there, we're going to back you because you're the person that we chose and we believe in the project. I think that has to be the approach. But yeah.
Let's. In terms of does Amorim has to show the fan base something to get behind, and do we also have to be? And then how much patience and time do we need to give him? Go ahead, bro, and then we'll bring in the big up to the person who does the thumbnails for the show. Big up Nora Beats. Nora Beats, obviously, he was linked with Liverpool. Nora Beats has sent us over a file of research that the Liverpool fans have done on Ruben Amorim, and we'll have a look. But We'll get your thoughts to what Sean said from Lesso, then Jarvis, and then we move on to answer the 2 questions, and then we'll go into the piece of research. And big up to Nura Beats. Always appreciative sharing. So go ahead, Lesso. Big up to you. I hope you're well, bro.
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I think my head is kind of subsided now. I think I'm able to think now properly.
Clear skies.
But yeah, this was I'm just happy that that chapter is closed and we don't have to sit here and discuss it any longer. You know, with regards to Amorim, like I've already stated, it's a simple thing. I mean, if a manager comes in, I told you guys that I'll stay consistent in whoever we hire. It doesn't matter whoever it is. If within 2 months or 3 months, if I do not see a style of play, my guy, you're out in my head. Because if you cannot implement those basics, then what are we doing what are we going to be doing for the next 2-3 years? You understand? These things always result to always come to the same conclusion anyway. So for me, it's the same pattern that I do not like to see. I've seen it consistently enough for me to not want it to see it ever again. So I'll be judging him on that and harshly. Bear in mind, this is a manager I actually liked. So it's not an agenda thing, Sean, by the way, before you say it's an agenda. It's not an agenda thing. It's me being objective, because we need to look at the club first. We need to look at what we've been saying before, because I'll be a hypocrite to say Ten Hag is not doing this, and then the next manager comes in and then I flip flop. You know, what I know is that he used to be a captain as well. So his communication skills that may help in terms of him actually speaking to players and getting them and galvanizing them and getting them together. So those are one of his good personal traits. Apparently, he's young as well. He plays good football. He's very tactically. He knows. He's very flexible. This is what I also like, because I don't want a manager that plays one way. I need a manager who's gonna know how to balance attack and defense and the defensive duties. He has done that at Sporting. If you look at Sporting, the previous season, not this season, last season, in fact, and the season before, the style is different. This season they press him more. They're pressing more. They're playing a more attack style of football. They're more focused on basically scoring a whole lot of goals, as opposed to the season before, where they're a bit defensive, but they were still attack. They still had the balance of attack and defense. But this season they're more focused on their more attacking basis. So you can see that there's a change in flexibility. They're more pressing this season as well. They've pressed in most games. You know, the pressing's been very impressive. I even watched the game tonight. You know, when they played, their style of play is exceptional. It's exactly what we want to see. It's exactly what we thought we would see from Ten Hag, personally. And for me, the coaching comes first. The coaching comes first. It's not the name for me. I love this manager. Like I said, Man City were looking at him. Barada was personally, he wanted him replacing Pep, you know. So I want to see him instill a style of play. I want to see him coach these players, and that's what I'll judge him on. And this thing of saying that the manager needs to be kept here, regardless of whether it's 14th or 15th, we should not be doing that right now. You know, I think we should be looking at what he's doing on the pitch with these players. That's the most fun. If he's able to execute the fundamentals, whether they're not perfect or not, because that is down to maybe player personnel and whatnot, but it is still, the fundamentals still need to be there. We need to see him not have this player favoritism thing that Ten Hag seems to have done, and we knew that it was not going to be sustainable, because you cannot implement one thing for one player and then don't implement it for the next player. That causes dressing room unrest. So you need to learn how to manage these players. You need to be more communicative towards these players. You need to put your arm around their shoulders and let them believe that they can actually conquer this. They can conquer the football pitch and conquer every football club. That's just basic. You need a manager who can do that, and you need a manager that can get these players on
I
site
don't
and
think
can
that's
get
basic.
any sort of thing.
I don't think
That is basic. That is basic. Getting. So you're telling me a style of play, a manager coming in and introducing a style of play isn't the most basic thing that a manager knows. My coach could do that with me being 10 years old. He could bring me into. He could bring me. Yeah. So there is no way that is out of the question. Okay, other things I can somewhat agree to disagree with you, in terms of them not being the bare basics. But implementing a style of play,
what I was talking about in terms of basics that you were calling basics are the things like putting an arm around the player, getting the most out of the player, the man management stuff. I don't think that's basic. And because this stuff is hard to define and amorphous, I would just say that I agree with you. And all I'm looking for from Amorim to be different from Ten Hag is to win, right? This whole thing of like implementing the style of play. I call BS on the technicality and how detailed it is. I think we just want the manager to win. So that's
no. But we still need to want to watch football. I'm not here just to win. I also want to enjoy what I'm watching. When I'm coming back from a conference, a head wrenching conference of a whole weekend, and I'm coming back to watch shitty football, I can't be doing that. So I can't be a hypocrite. I wanted this guy because I know the type of style of football he plays. I've watched Sporting a couple of times. And so this is what I expect for him to do at Man United. I expect for him to actually show me something for me to get behind. That's it. Anything else doesn't matter. I'm going to be here screaming. If I do not see him implement a style of play within 2 or 3 months, I want him out. I want him out. You heard it here first. I want him out because there is nothing sustainable about you coming here and you do not have a style. You do not have a style. We'll be back here in the next 24 months. We'll be back here in the next 24 months having the same conversation about wanting a manager out. I want someone who's going to do what he needs to do as a manager. From there onwards, we can speak about how we can.
By the way, I just want to make the correction. I just want to make the correction. He's coming as a head coach. He's not going to be a manager. So Ineos is doing some of the management background, but he's just coming in as head coach. Big up to Boldy Egg Nuruddin. Nuruddin, I'm such a big fan of you, your voice and opinion. I take your compliment very seriously. Thank you so much. But honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I take this as I really take this as a compliment because I'm like the time and effort it takes
to do this. Yeah, no.
For the people to set up channels, to really set up YouTube channels, it's unbelievable. Like I keep banning and it keeps coming back. Like
I just wanted to flag the reason why I showed the graphics that I showed before about what has happened since Fergie is I think by now we should know enough to know that you cannot judge in 2 months, either the positive or the negative. If it's going really well in 2 months, you can't judge it that way.
No.
If it's going really badly in 2 months, you can't judge it that way. The whole point is to flag that 2 months is not enough time to make a decision, right?
Facts.
Secondly,
I agree. I agree, Sean.
If we think that he can just transfer what we saw from Sporting today, this is somebody who has been there for 4 years. If you think you can just transfer what we saw at Sporting today to United, we have another thing coming. So we're going to be having the same kind of conversations. Oh, does he need his own players?
I already said to you.
Does he need to sign players to match his style of play? Oh, these are not his signings. That one, did Ineos back him in the summer? All this kind of, we'll not start asking, having all these conversations that we've been having again. I'm just encouraging that. So I think, I recognize and I appreciate the righteous passion, but I just don't think 2 months is enough time to make a decision on the manager, basically on what
is it possible to have a style of play if you have players like Bruno and Rashford and the usual suspects? You know who they are. How are they coachable? Do you think you can learn them new tricks?
Hello.
Well, we'll see. Well, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Big up our brother Luani.
Hey, big up everybody. How are you guys doing?
He's not working, actually. He's not working today. He's not on the road. He's resting. Luani, big up. First of all,
road again.
How was he's always playing those tunes. He's on the road again. Yeah, exactly.
How you guys been?
First of all, let me get this super chat while we introduce you. I hope you're well, brother.
I'm well.
This person has changed their name. This used to be Jim the Rat, right? You know that, don't
What
you?
the hell?
But they've changed their name to Rude Van Abdul Jabbar. I'm proud to be the first black side manager. With your support, I will lead the club to the League One title by 2020. Sneaky Omar promised you. So big up to you. Yeah. 100. That would coincide with the 150th anniversary of Manchester United Football Club. So big up to you. So Lawani, let's go, baby. Sean hopefully will come back. How are you, first of all?
Good, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
To the news, we're good, brother. So the news of everything that's going on in the world, we're good personally, but the madness, brother, is the madness in the world, and there's a fucking genocide taking place. But how are you? Were you on the road? Were you driving when the news dropped?
Yeah, I was driving when my son sent me a text message.
Jarvis, please hold
telling
it there.
me
Luwani, just hold it there. Luwani, just hold it there 1 second. We've got Jarvis is in this as well now. Nuruddin, tell Jarvis he's the realist. Your voice, the voice of reason. Right. There you go. Compliment taking, Jarvis. You taking that compliment?
I'm taking the compliment. Right. Thank you.
Before we're banning, continue, Luwani. Continue.
Yeah, so it was my son that actually informed me, telling me Ten Hag was sacked. So we got to a point where sons are trolling their fathers. That's what Manchester United does to you. But
what team does your son support?
My son support Chelsea, man. So yes. I didn't even dare respond to him. But it is what it is. They sack him. We can sit down here and debate the merit of that decision. But eventually, he have to go. I'm not the kind to sit down and dance on people's issue. But he had a job, and he's still, at the end of the day, he's still a man that lost a job. And I wish him good wherever he goes. I have no doubt that he's a good tactician, but being a good tactician alone is not enough to be a good manager. You also have to be you have to have some leader quality in terms of man management, and I think he kind of lacked that a little bit. So for the new manager that they brought in, I've been following the discussion of what you guys are saying, the time that he needs to implement the style of play. I would say that we don't know any of that. It depends on what was told, the mandate that was given to him. Let's not forget that he is hired by a board, and we don't know the expectation. We don't know the discussion they have in the boardroom. If they brought him in, and in that boardroom, they told him that, hey, we're just trying to make it to the Champions League. Our goal this season is top 4, and you need to do whatever you need to do to get there. I think he might not try to upset too much the apple cart, but if the board give him carte blanche to do anything he need to do to install a style of play, I think this will go like a crime scene investigation, right? The first 48 hours are very important. So in this case, I would say the first 2 months are very important. He need to come in with his style and start his work immediately. So by January, he need to be able to identify the players that can fit that style or the players that cannot fit that style. And at this point, he can start sidelining the players that will not work for him. And when it comes to that, I don't know too much about Amorim, but I heard that he does the 3 at the back. I don't know, Jarvis, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's 3 at the back, that means automatically you're playing with 1 less midfielder. And I don't know how that's going to work in the Premier League. So it's something I'm curious. Yeah, it's something I'm curious to know how he's going to deploy. But this is a new era. This is a new manager. This team, Manchester United, have always had an issue that this as big as Manchester United is, it eats up managers. I can even argue that he eats up the whole ball, because Ineos was supposed to be competent. They have a lineup of extraordinary gentlemen that we think supposedly know what they're doing. But now we see that even them themselves, they confused. The job is a big job. And what I wish is that Amorim come in the job and stay true to who he is. He cannot change anything for these players. He stayed true to his principle. And I say, I agree with Leso, who said that the style of play is very important. The reason is of that is that with the style of play, you can have a certain consistency. We're not looking to win trophies. We're not going to hold him accountable to winning trophy, because we've had 3 managers in the past that have been able to bandulu us with those trophies. And trophies are not a real measure of progress. If you want to measure the progress of a team, it has to be over the course of a 30-game season, where there are other metrics that you can use, like the number of goals conceded, the number of goals that we score, our positive play, and how consistent we are with the result. And that's what I'm going to be looking at. We're not trying to see a manager that chop and change or that adapts to the opponent as you go. That's not what Manchester United is. We're supposed to impose ourselves on anybody we play. That's what our ethos is. So if he come with something and he imprint that on the players, and those who can play it will stay. Those who cannot have to go. And that's just about it. The style is very important. On the first 2 months, that's what I'm going to be looking at. And hopefully we get some consistency from there.
Is that this guy is coming in the middle of the season, right? I don't see how his remits can be anything more than win games. I think it's a trap for him to come in saying, I want to stick to exactly what I was doing in Sporting, and I want to bring that and replicate it here. I think that's a mistake. I think what we're hiring is that premium, undefinable, unquantifiable quality that he has as a manager. Make the right decisions. So make the right call. When it's time to bench Rashford for somebody else, do it. When it's time to make the substitution at halftime or 68 minutes or whatever, do it. When you need to be more conservative away at Man City or away at Liverpool, do it. Like this idea that like he needs to come and be able to identify this is a Ruben Amorim style of play, trademark TM. Like I don't see that as necessary. He needs to win.
But Sean, this is it, right?
Put in place. Yeah.
This is it. You cannot bring in a manager and tell him to leave his personality as Sporting. He come with his personality, and his personality is his style. If he come in, if you want him to make the decision to bench Rashford or to bench whoever, it have to be the platform on which he have to make that decision is the style of play. If he doesn't have a style of play, if he's going to, we literally asking him to either adapt to the players that he has for the sake of the results. That's what we've been doing in the past. You remember the first season of Erik ten Hag? He looked at the players and he literally set us up so we can we don't concede that much. And then when he tried to get expensive, it did not work. We don't want that to be the basis of which we're going now. We want this manager to come in and start with his style right away, so we can see where we're going.
I mean, then save us.
So I mean, I think I don't want to set Amorim up for failure.
He's not here to save us. Just come on, show us something.
Exactly.
There's a difference. We're not asking for saving.
Well, no, the fan base are acting like savior now. I see everybody's getting giddy. I watch other channels.
We're not here. We're not
getting giddy now.
We're not
we are
getting
on giddy mode. We are going
to
sign people in January. He's getting money.
No, he's not. We need to stop
no.
Buy Jarvis.
No, you know what my problem is? I'll be content, right? I'll be content with seeing some consistency in the style of which we defend, the structure of which we defend, the style of which we attack, right? I'm not too fussed about result because I know we have the quality. If we get some consistency in style, the minimum quality that we have can get us somewhere.
Wait till we lose a game.
No,
I mean,
we don't. We've
We're
been
gonna lose
losing
games
games,
anyway.
We gotta
We're
lose
Yeah.
game.
losing
It
games.
happens, Sorry.
Let me just get the
I-
super chat.
yeah.
Jim the Rat Judas says, welcome back to the original name. Nuruddin, what's your new interim coach? Omar's promise is legit. We're winning a title by today. We just don't know yet which title we will be. It could be the championship title. Could be League One title. It could be one of those.
I really want this guy to succeed. I just don't want us to set him up to fail, right? And I agree, Luani, entirely that like he shouldn't leave his style of playing Sporting. I wanted to bring it to United. My understanding of the way the structure would have worked is that with Dan Ashworth and Wilcox and everybody behind or above the coach, because I think you already clarified that this is not a manager, this is a head coach. The idea is that like the manager should be interchangeable, right? The structure runs from top to bottom throughout the entire footballing apparatus. So first team under 18s, under 21, we all play the same system, we all play the same style. We're recruiting based on the system and based on the style. And the manager is coming to plug and play. So he's coming to coach them, to coach the finer details, and also to bring personality, right? But I want Amorim to be free to make all the decisions that he wants to make, right? I wanted to bring the style of play, everything. I'm just saying, I guess to clarify, I'm not going to judge him in 2 months. I think is the point of what I'm saying. I'm not going to judge him in 2 months, regardless of what I see, regardless of what is happening, regardless of what we see, regardless of what is going on the pitch. Because I understand, right, that I think the context of United is different from all the other examples that you might want to point to. And the manager needs basically 10. Because say he comes with the style of play and he now has to deal with the fact that the players that he has in this team basically can't get him what he wants to do, which is what every other manager basically has been faced with, right, in the past. He now has to make a decision. Does he stick to his guns, burn it all down, play the youth, or does he take a pragmatic approach, basically, and try and get results? Because in order to get the breathing room that you need, he needs to get results, which is why I want to go straight to he needs to get results. The only way he's going to get time, the only way he's going to get space to implement the style of play, anything like that, is if he is winning, which is all that matters to me, basically. 3 points every week.
Okay, Sean, I'm going to ask you 1 second, Luani. I'm going to ask this question, and then we're going to go to the presentation because Jarvis has been waiting for ages to go into the file to learn more about who Amorim is. Just quickly, please. Was he in your top 2 or 3 to replace Ten Hag? Yes or no?
To replace Ten Hag? No, I don't even know. I don't know anything about him, and I don't care. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know him. It could be the manager of Nigeria. But I really don't give a damn. Who the next manager is?
The Niger, bring on the Niger boys. Everybody can get paid at Manchester.
Yeah, because all he needs for me to back him, it's my love is unconditional. All he needs is the United badge, and I back him. That's it.
My love is unconditional. That's a trap, people. Can somebody take that? Can somebody take that bit of voice? My love is unconditional. That's an Afrobeat tune, mate.
Nuruddin, just quick.
Okay, are you in a rush, Luani?
No, just quick. Just to respond. You see, the issue is that I'm not getting giddy, right? If I say I'm gonna judge him in January, it's not based on results. It's based on the style of play. If the result don't come, I don't care, because as far as I'm concerned, we from the past where we come in, this is what we did. We brought Ole in, we judge him on the result. We got giddy, and look at what happened.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ten Hag. When we brought him in first, the first 2 games were not good, and then after that, he achieved some kind of consistencies, and we got giddy. Same result, same thing happened. What we have not been able to have is a consistent style. So if I say that, hey, I give him 2 months to see the way he wants to play, and hopefully from game to game there is a consistency in that, I don't think there is an issue. That is not getting giddy.
Okay, great. Big up to you. So I'll ask you the question. What's the question? Was he in your top 3 to replace Erik Ten Hag? If you had coaches in your head, did you have coaches that could replace? Who was your first choice? Was Amorim in any of the? Was he in any of the?
I had no clue who he was. So okay. my first choice was actually Nagelsmann.
Okay.
because because he's a modern coach, but he will have taken a challenge to take him off the German job. So it might have been a pipe dream at that point. So
Okay. Big up to you. Lesso, quickly. Was he in your top 3? Who was your first
Top
choice?
5. He was top 5 for me. My top 3 consistent of Hansi Flick. It was.
I thought he was your
De
favorite.
Zerbi. No, he's one. That's why I'm saying top 5, my guy. He's one of, if not one of the guys that I've been watching closely. So, but Hansi Flick was number 1 for me personally. But yeah, he's gone.
And who was
so
number
I can't
2?
really- Number 2 was De Zerbi, and he was also gone, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Then yeah, the list goes on.
So he wasn't even in your top. He was in your top 5, not your top 3. Jarvis, quickly.
Yeah.
Was Amorim in one of the managers who could have replaced? I know we like Michel, we like Areola. I really like Areola because he knows the Premier League, and I'm a bit insecure. Again, we're going abroad to another league, to a manager who looks impressive. There's similarities to Erik ten Hag. So for me, I was like, get Areola in, give him 2.5 years to lay down the foundations, then get the coach that could take us to the next level. That was my idea, really.
Yeah.
But was he in your top 3? Was he in your top 5, Amorim? Was he in your radar?
Well, no. Then first of all, we got to stick to the plan. We have our way in Man United. First, we go for a Dutch manager, and then we go for a Portuguese manager, and now we have the Dutch manager, and now we have to bring in a Dutch Portuguese manager. So.
And then
the
we
next
get a
one will be a
Norwegian.
Norwegian. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
Continues,
And then we get the Bodo Glimt manager.
Yeah,
Your
the Bodo
favorite.
Glimt, the Norwegian manager. So that will be fantastic. I'm looking forward to the next manager.
What's
That's
his
my
name?
main objective into this.
What's the Bodo Glimt
Kjetil Knutsen.
Knudsen. Big up Knudsen. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Kjetil
He
Knudsen.
wasn't. So who was in your top 3, Jarvis, to replace?
No, as you said, I have a soft spot for Andoni Iraola. I think he's a good manager and he's Premier League proven. And I talked a lot about Michel, Girona manager. But besides them, I have no other favorites per se.
Nagelsmann or Xavi
Nagelsmann, Thiago Motta, maybe. Yeah. So there's some of the guys, but I would choose from the Premier League, and I would say Iraola, maybe a long shot will be Eddie Howe if he got this sack at Newcastle.
I said it years ago, Jarvis. I said it years ago, and I got mocked for it. I said it.
No, he's a good manager. He's a good manager.
Years ago, that guy could coach, and it's clear for everybody. And he took a team from a fucking relegation zone to the Champions League. So anyway, Jarvis, let's do it. Let's open the file. Let's learn a little bit about what it is. And by the way, this research was done by Nura Beats, who does all of the thumbnails for the channel. He's a massive Liverpool fan, and he is the man who gone out there to do this, to go out to do this research. So this is a presentation.
So yeah. Do you want to read it out, or should I just?
No, you go ahead, Jarvis.
So it's Ruben Amorim's managerial career and achievements. First of all, the rise of Ruben Amorim, key achievements and future prospects and legacy. So that's the content. So section 1, the rise of Ruben Amorim. So his early career and transition into management. The 2019, he was managing SC Braga B in the Portuguese league, and in March, Amorim was head coach for SC Braga. So 2020, he started at the highest level in Portugal. So he was impressive. He did good with them. I think he made his first trophy with Braga in 2020. And then he came to Sporting. They hired Amorim for 10 million euros. That was a significant investment for a Portuguese club. And I would say strictly sorted by time. Okay, so say 2021, 5 weeks, Amorim led Sporting to their first league title in 19 years. So they weren't a club that has been winning in Portugal. You have 2 big clubs in Portugal. It's Porto and Benfica. So he did well with Sporting. And despite challenging the following season, Amorim maintained Sporting's competitive edge in Portuguese football. So Ruben Amorim's appointment as Sporting head coach, March 2020, was a controversial fee. 10 million was a big fee. Let's
So
see
basically the
what's-
same thing that we're doing.
Yeah, basically the same thing. But we don't know about the 10 million. I heard someone say it was about almost 20 million, but we will see. We will see. He had a difficult start at Sporting. He faced immediate challenges upon his arrival. Inherited a struggling team that had just dismissed 2 managers and was in disarray. So he came into a mess. So that's a good thing. He know how to turn around. So we had a quick turnaround, and he won his first major trophy in 2021. And he established a winning culture. So leadership philosophy. Ruben Amorim emphasizes a collaborative leader style, fostering an environment where players feel valued and empowered, which is crucial, building a winning culture within the team. So I don't know, guys, what are your thoughts on collaborative leader style? We know we
Well,
had
he
it
was
on
a player,
Ole.
so obviously
He was a
he
captain.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was a player and a captain, so he
But he's
understands
working.
about with players. He
Yeah.
understands that the way that he's been in different kind of he was in Benfica a long time. He won about 10 league titles, I think, as a player with Benfica, and then he moved on to Braga, played there as well at some time. So he's a player who can connect with modern players because there are players in our squad that he played with. Who played
But
against.
we had a collaborative leader style under Ole. That's one of our managers who had a collaborative leader style. So it could go well. And when it comes to player development focus, so under Amorim guidance, Sporting had prioritized the development of youth talent, integrating them into the first team, which
You guys are calling me Ineos PR. This is Amorim PR like times 1,000. Like whoever did this.
It's Nurabit's research before because he wanted him as Liverpool manager after Klopp. So it's thorough. And resilience and adaptability. We have Amorim has cultivated a culture of resilience by encouraging players to adapt to challenges, promoting mental toughness that enables the team to perform consistently under pressure in high-stake matches. That's one of the key elements, and if we can do this with this group of players, I think we will come good, because this has been one of our biggest problem. We see our mental
we're fragile.
Weakness. Yeah, we are fragile. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're
like fucking broken glass. We just we shatter.
And this is the interesting part. First title in 19 years. Ruben Amorim led the Sporting to the first Primera title since 2002. The victory was significant as it disrupted the dominance of Porto and Benfica. So it's basically as the same as in Scotland. You have Glasgow Rangers and Celtic winning every other year, but sometimes a big club comes in, and we can see the similarity with Alex Ferguson coming in, winning with Aberdeen in Scotland, and then became the head coach at Man United. So the omen is good with this one. Trophy, European challenges. Let's see. Okay. Innovative tactical formation. Ruben Amorim employs a dynamic 3-4-3 formation, allowing for fluid transition between defense and attack, maximizing the team's offensive capabilities while maintaining defensive solidity. So the 3-4-3, or I see a lot of people tactically set it up as a 3-4-2-1, because you don't have 2 wingers up front, you have 2 number 10s. I don't know, guys. What's your thoughts on this formation?
To me, the biggest thing is is it the system that's king, or the individual players who play in that system? So can he work out that regardless who plays in the positions, can they carry out the instructions that he's given them to? You know what I mean? Can they do what they need to do for the team to function? That'll be the test for me personally. I'm not asked about formations and what.
But for me, I think the biggest problem is
how structured. The biggest thing for me, Jarvis, is not about 3-4-3 or whatever. Right? The biggest thing is that what are we saying when we're on the ball? Where are we when we lose the ball? On the ball and off the ball. And how much we construct space when we lose the ball, how much we try to create space when we have the ball. They're the more vital questions for me. Well, let's go. Go ahead.
And what to do with the ball. That's
exactly. Oh my God. Yeah.
So he likes to focus on youth development. He had brought up a lot of young players into this sporting team. As we know, there's a lot of stars. Iheanacho. No, what's the name of the center back? Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Not Iheanacho, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I forgot.
And number 3 is data-driven decision making. So Amorim utilizes advanced analytics to inform tactical decisions. That's good. I hope he will have a good in-game management, because enhancing player performances and optimizing game strategies, which have contributed to Sporting's impressive score rates and overall league success. So he likes to do his tactical setups and has his analytic team, same as Ten Hag, for example. Okay, let's see here. Transformative goal scoring ability. Victor Gyökeres, the Swedish guy, has significantly enhanced.
No other player has improved as much as this guy. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he
this
came
guy's
from
the goal machine.
He played for where did he play?
Somebody in England. Yeah, he played for somebody in England.
Coventry, no.
But yeah, Coventry. Yeah, he was Coventry.
Yeah.
Coventry.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. As of the current season, Ruben Amorim is Sporting's leading the Primeira Liga, showcasing a strong performance with 9 wins from 9, scoring 30 goals and only 2 goals conceded. So that's brilliant. I don't know the level of the Portuguese league. I can't say I've seen one game of the Portuguese league ever, maybe. I don't know, you guys. Have you ever seen? I would rather say
it's rather more competitive than the Eredivisie, but only
of course.
So, my attention I wanted to bring to the 3-4-3. I'm just curious to see how it's going to be deployed, because obviously it's not just about the system. Is he going to deploy it in a up the pitch? Is he going to be a high press with that, or is he going to be a low block with that?
No.
And then
high.
Okay, and then if it's the case, are we comfortable to see Harry Beckenbauer back in a 3? Is this something that's going to happen, or? And then my third observation will be:
I am comfortable because I'm not player FC, so I don't care.
Okay, my third observation will be: would that fit Diego Dallo and Mazarawi in an attacking sense? Because so far I've seen those two, they haven't been able to put a single cross in, or they haven't inverted successfully. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to deploy that.
I think Mazraoui is more likely to play as one of the 3 center backs than as a wing back. He doesn't strike me as a particularly effective.
I just want to caveat 1 second. The presentation that we just had. Big up to Nura Beats. Make sure you follow him on Twitter.
Big up to Jared.
Big up.
Yeah, big up to Nura Beats for the research. I want to caveat this. We wanted to know a little bit about this guy. I wanted to do that. But all of this means fuck all, zilt all, if he can't bring any of those things to Old Trafford. And like I said, I tested the Portuguese league only slightly better than the Eredivisie. So it's a massive gap. It's not a massive gap for me. It's not. So it's because the teams that dominate are Benfica, Porto, and Sporting. They're the teams that dominate. They're the biggest teams. They're in the biggest places. So for me, I'm not seeing all this as a great achievement. My biggest thing about Ruben Amorim is that can he coach the fuck out of a squad? Will he have the time? And that's why I personally want us to get fucking knocked out of the Europa League so he can have more days on the training ground to work on innovation, tactical formation, focus on youth development, and data-driven decision making. He needs time to be able to do that. So that's why I'm like, fuck Europa League, fuck Europe altogether, and let's just focus, because that's what I want the coach to be. Now, a lot of it will depend on, I've always told you lot that Manchester United love a fucking scapegoat, and they love a savior. And you know what? We're all guilty of it. Every fucking one of us is guilty of it, right? So all of us share the responsibility to that, because we've been starved. We've been to hell and back in the last 13 years. So we're desperate. We are desperate. We are the most talked about football club in the world. We are the most clickbaited football club in terms of the fan base in the world. No other club has that level of scrutiny other than Real Madrid in world football, right? I believe. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, but all of this makes the 2 months. That's all of this feeds. I think the point I was making, that like the manager needs time, because like this guy's not going to be able to breathe. He's not going to be able to like to even catch a breath. Every single decision he makes, every single choice he makes will be second guess, third guess, fourth guess, scrutinized down to the T, right? And that's not an environment that like leaves much room for nuance or for people to say. So I think while some fans would, be like, maybe the in and out would flip now, right? And people who were out before will be in now and something like that. But like for him to survive in the environment that he's working to, based on everything that he will need to deliver, I don't think 2 months is enough time. And I don't think style of play will be enough to keep him in the job. He's going to need to deliver actual like results and
big up Superfly. Superfly's gone early. It's official, people. It's absolutely official. Big up TJ Superfly, guy. He literally has gone early. And you know what? I respect it. I respect it.
That was it. Dutch, Portuguese, and then what again?
Norwegian. We're getting the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be going.
Or a club legend.
Listen, I'll be scouting our next coach. He manages Boulder Glimt. Don't worry. I'll be scouting him. I'll be watching him very soon in the Europa League.
He's a good manager. But it's very important to remember now we have a new manager in. I think a lot of people are in a way happy that Ten Hag is gone. There's been a lot of energy against Ten Hag in the fan base and in the British media and all around. So now it's like exam time, because when it comes a new guy in, how are we going to assess him? Because a lot has been said about Ten Hag, and playing favorites, don't having a style of play, doing basically everything wrong. So I wonder if the fan base will have the same energy against the new manager, or they are willing to give him time. Because I'm willing to challenge now the chat and the panel. Tell me, how long will you give these new managers before you start complaining?
Can I go first, Jarvis? I'll go. For me, go back to the hat again. If this guy gives me something to get behind, I'll fucking throw my hat in there. I'll be like, there you go.
That's a Kestama answer, Nuruddin. No,
it's not. No, it's not. So let me finish. So for me, the first season is a freebie. It's a freebie, right? After the first season, I have to see something the next season. I have to see something for me to go, right, is there something that I can hang my hat on? Win, lose, or draw. That's where I'm at, Jarvis. So 18 months is in the time frame where I have to see something. Within 18 months, I have to see something clearly. It has
so
to
at
be
the end of
clear,
next season, then you have to see something.
I have to see something.
To just get behind the manager.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm as a match goer, Jarvis, it's always been the way. Give us something to back. Give us something to get up for. Give us something. That's how it is in the stadium. You walk into the stadium, give us something to chant. Show us something on the football pitch to put our hats on. Yes, come on. Let's go. You have to. It has to be something. I'm no longer the believer, because I'll be a hypocrite. Because I came out 7.5 months, 8 months. You were here. Sean was here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if Blesso Lumani, but you two definitely was here. And I was saying, guys, I don't see it. I don't see it. So that's my answer. Go ahead, Sean. And then we go around Lumani and then
Yeah, no. For me, I think the new standard that we created is 2 years minimum. Based on what Ten Hag has done. A manager gets 2 years, and in your third season, you need to be showing something.
It'll be really interesting
Otherwise,
the length of contract he will get, Sean. It'll be really interesting to see.
yeah, I mean, I think he's most likely going to get like a 5 year, something along those lines, like a proper, like, a contract that the club will say represents or reflects their backing and their commitment to the manager, because they have to speak in a certain way, right? And to attract him.
I think it might be 4-year contract, 3 with 1 year optional. But go ahead, finish your.
Yeah, no. To get him out of his job, I think it would need to be a very good, very lucrative contract. And with the question, honestly, for me, he doesn't need to show me anything. Like I said before, all he needs to get my backing is to wear the badge, basically, to wear the United badge. And I'm pricing in now. I'm pricing in mistakes. I'm pricing in bad runs of form. I'm pricing in games where the style of play doesn't seem clear. I'm pricing a bunch of stuff in already now, because I recognize all the stuff that you've said. Like everybody has been saying about how the Premier League is tough, how the Manchester United job is the most scrutinized job, how it's a difficult environment, how he would need some time to implement a style of play, how he might need to sign a whole new set of players to be able to play well. All that, I'm pricing it in and giving the manager, I think, 2 to 3 years, basically, right? Of on complete 100% backing. We need to find a way to lower, I think, the temperature, the noise around United. We need to find a way to lower the temperature, lower the noise, so that the people, the club can just focus on doing what they're doing.
It's a Franken monster. I'm sorry, Sean. It's a Franken monster, and the monster is let loose. You can't silence. There's no silencing. There's no going back. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah,
So
I just want to ask Sean, what did you say? Did you say 12 months or 18?
No. I said 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years.
2 years. He said 2 years.
Because I'm taking notes and I'm saving this. Yeah, for sure. I'm not even kidding.
No, I sort of pointed out that, like, I think this is another issue, right? That everybody is now like boxing themselves into a corner where you don't want to be seen as a hypocrite. You don't want to be.
No, I'm saying it with chest. I'm saying it with my chest.
It's not a court of law. Let's embrace the unpredictability, the pattern of being a fan, the flip floppiness of being a fan. Right?
Listen,
you
Sean,
don't need to be like super accurate or super.
I've done that for 13 years. I've done that for 13 years and counting, my friend. I need something to get behind. Like I said, this hat, I need to hang it on something. Let me put it on for you. This hat, fucking hang it. It needs to be
blinders, looking good.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders. Yeah, no.
It needs to be hanged. This hat needs to be hanged, my friend. But go ahead, Luani, and then we go to Lesso. No, first, Lesso.
Okay.
We're not heard from Lesso yet, so Lesso, then Luani.
Sure.
Go ahead, Luani. Lesso, sorry.
No, Luani can go first. I'll go last.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, guys. For me, football is like playing Tetris, right? If you miss the base, you're gonna fuck up the rest of it. Excuse my language. That Ten Hag was a bad coach. My problem is that somewhere along the line, he got lost. Okay, this club does it to the best managers. He got lost in his principles. So to come back to your question, Jarvis, if Amorim coming, he stayed true to himself, right? To his principle, and apply them, I give him as long as he wants. But under one condition. My expectations are not based on results. They are just, we cannot skip the basics. The basics is the style of play. Let's see the style of play. Let's see how consistent he is with that. And then the rest will come naturally. I cannot dissociate performance. I can dissociate performance and result, right? But we know in football, it goes like this. The style comes, the performance follows, and the result come after that. But every time we're talking, it's almost as if we're trying to dissociate performance with results. No, more often than not, if you are consistent in your style, and Manchester United will give you quality. We are a rich club. We have the money.
Let's ask Graham Potter. Like the
Mm.
history is full of examples of managers who had the style, but because the results were not there, they were sacked.
Yeah, but
and
do
I think
you know why they were sacked?
You raised a good point about what United does to managers. And I think the question is, when Manchester United begins to affect this new manager, when the club begins to weigh on him, when he looks like he's losing his way, how long are you going to give him to find his way back? Like, I think that's the question, right? How long does the manager get to deal with everything that's going on around?
But this is it, Sean, right? It's true that the history is full with managers that have style, but that still got sacked because they didn't obtain result. But very seldom, very rarely would you see a manager that have style that got quality, but that did not succeed. We have quality because we have the money to provide the managers with quality. What we're asking for is the manager to come in with style, and we will do the rest. The board will do the rest. The board will back him. So in that sense, what I want to see on the first 2 months is the star. If I don't see star in the first 2 months, I'm gonna have some reservation. I'm tired of pinning my hope on results, because that's all we've been doing for the past years. Let's see how we go. Let's try to go in a different direction. So for me, he have until January. If come January, he starts sidelining Rashford, sidelining Bruno, sidelining Maguire, because he said they cannot play in his style. Hey, you know what? I know this guy have something brewing. You come to this club, you have to manage egos. That's the most important thing you have to manage when you come to Manchester United. And most managers don't realize that these players always think that by virtue of wearing the shirt, they are bigger than they are, and that's that will be his biggest challenge, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
So 2 months, Savage, you get that?
2 months.
Big up. Yeah, by the way, I'm just running a poll, people. We're running a poll. Let me just tell people about the poll we're running. So we said we asked the question, we said, how long should the fans give Amorim? We put 15 months, 18 months, 20 months, or 30 months. And at the moment...
30 months is 2.5 years, okay.
Yeah, and at the moment, 41% of you, 20 or 22 voted. At the moment, it's clear lead, 15 months. It's a period. Yeah. Well, go ahead, Lasso.
Yes, I agree with Luwani as well. You know, in terms of, like I said, and I stated in the beginning of the show, that I'm strongly going to look at the style of play over results, because I know if you have a sustainable way of playing, results will follow. So that is just natural. You know, in football, we've seen it consistently with every top club and every top manager that has succeeded. If they have something, a building block to build from, they ultimately become successful. They ultimately get results. So for me, even if I'm losing 3-1, 3-2, 3-0, and we've actually have something to get behind, we see that we try to play a certain way. Guess what? I'm going to get behind it, because for me, I want to see football. I'm not coming back from a conference, guys. We're coming back from stressful, working environment, come back and, to watch crazy football, football that is not entertaining. I don't want to do that. That's it for me. I personally wouldn't watch if that's what we're gonna subject ourselves to. So 2 months. In 2 months, if he's not implemented a style of play, I'm sorry. Like, for me, in my head, he's already gone, because there is nothing that you're gonna tell me personally. There's nothing you can convince me otherwise. I've seen this. How long have you been watching football? I've seen all the successful managers, and I've seen them implement something. So there is no way you're gonna convince me that this guy is gonna do anything any different that we haven't seen before. Stats wise, data analytics wise, they'll tell you the same thing. A manager has not implemented a style of play, does not yield in results. Go and check it out. It's right there in data.
If we can be
it's right
even
there.
more specific.
It's right there in data analytics. I study data analytics. I'm actually a graduate in data analytics. I actually did data analytics for a football club in South Africa during lockdown.
The question
that's what they look at.
If we can be even more specific, how do you and Luani define style of play? So we can know what
Style
to
of
look
play.
out for, right?
Okay.
What I do we need to score the exact same goal a couple of times? Do we
No,
need
listen.
to? Yeah. Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
In
Can I
in
go,
terms of
Listen?
style, okay.
Oh,
No, you
go
can go.
ahead.
You can go.
Okay. So
Now you
when
can
we
go.
talk,
I think you gotta.
okay, when we're talking about the style of play, Nuruddin have mentioned it in a previous stream, right? When you are on the training ground or when you have a preseason, you are supposed to have a blueprint. The blueprint that you show your players in which way you want to attack, your philosophy, and how you want to defend, how the team is structured, and
Is this something
those are
measurable?
yeah,
Is something we can
no,
measure? We can
it
create a
is.
standard and measure here
Yeah,
among ourselves.
it's tangible. You know what's not measurable is the result, is the guarantee of result. We don't know that because the result is not based on the style, it's based usually on the quality of the players. So
No,
if you have
even with style of play, that's why I gave an
mm,
example, right? Because with style of play, some people will say they want to see us score the same type of goal. They want to see a clear pattern of how we create chances. They want to see us build up a clear pattern of how we build up play. So I'm asking for like specific metrics that we can now say, okay, this is what the style of play means to me, and I want to see this done consistently, right? Producing an outcome, whether the outcome is, I'm able to see how we cross the ball into the game, or I want to see us maintain possession in a particular way. Like how can we identify that we're seeing a style
okay,
of play?
Can I break it
foot,
down for you? Can
yeah,
I break it down? Let me just break
sure.
it down a little bit. So a team style of play is football. It's the way you attack, defend, and transition during a match. There are many different. So positional play is one of them. Direct play is one of them. Whether you counter attack is one of them. Dribbling style is one of them, where players you isolate defenders and you let your players dribble opponents. The way you cross the balls in, do you whip balls into the box? Does the ball go in first time? It's about repetitive things that you can see of a team, the way they play. So there's certain things in the matches, and the most matches they play, they're repeating. There is the way the team plays out from the goalkeeper. It's the way the team goes back into possession when they lose the ball. They're the different things that was that the high press. Does a team use long balls to?
So you mean like basketballification, right? Like having this clear style of all your attackers going up and the defenders, and you mean like is it? Because what I want to highlight, right, is the irony of talking about the style of play and saying that's what matters more than results, when ultimately what will end up happening is that if the style of play isn't working, by definition, it means you don't have a style of play. Right, that's going to be
No, that's
story.
not true.
Okay.
That's not true. If the style of play is not working, that doesn't mean that you don't have this style of play. That can mean that the opposition is just superior in quality. It can be
By
that.
the way, I just want to say there are nearly 160 of you in here, and we need 40 more likes on the video,
Yes.
people. We need 40 more likes. Let me just update you guys where we are with the poll. So so far, the amount of people that 40 people have voted, and 45% say at 15 months. 18 months is 22%. 20 months is 12%, and 30 months is 20%. That's really interesting. So people would rather give 20%, would rather give 30 months, and then on 12%. So the lowest now is 20 months. So the winner by far, so
20% of the chats, kind of agree with me. That's interesting. I wanna.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got fans. Oh, you're not alone, Sean. You're not alone.
So
You're not alone in all your delusions, son. You're not alone.
no, then what I wanted to
But I want to ask the question.
Sure.
Jarvis, can you answer your own question, please?
Mm-hmm.
Your own question. Can you answer your own question? Remember what it was?
I think you make a lot of good points, all of you. Actually, I understand why you will give him 2 months, and I will also understand why you will give him 2 years. I saw Craig said it's hard to give him 3 years unconditionally because we don't know what we are walking into, in a way. So I can agree with that too. But for me personally, I'm a realist. I know the state the club are in because we have been run by the Glazers for 18, 19 years. It's not fixed in 1 month. It's not fixed in 6 months. We can't fix it maybe in 12 months. Maybe we can fix it in 18 to I don't know
30
months
months?
plus. Yeah, maybe. But it takes time. This is the issue. And are we willing to give it time? So I'm willing to give it time because that was why I was willing to give Ten Hag time, because I wanted him to have the chance to figure out how to change Man United and give him the time. And this is
Does
because
he have to show you something to put your hat on, Jarvis?
well, he showed me something.
Okay, well, the thing, Amorim,
I've been on this show. I've been on this show explaining how I see tactical
Ten Hag's
improvement.
gone now. Ten Hag's gone now. Does
Yeah.
Amorim have to? The new manager, does he have to give you something to put your hat on? To your big woolly hat in cold
I would
Norway?
like to see that he can get the players to do something else than panicking and playing hero ball and playing running road runners up on top, playing counter-attacking football. I would like to see something else. And if the manager can get them just even in spells in the beginning, maybe 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, see us have a structure, play the ball, actually have a attacking style, a pattern that I can recognize. Because when I look at football, I look for patterns. I look, I look at the pitch. I look how the players move.
Jarvis. I'm the same. I'm
Yeah.
the same. When I'm at the game, the higher I sit, the better it is. The higher I sit, the better it is, because I can see the chessboard moving. I can see the rhythm of the players moving, and that's what I watch on the ball and off the ball. But big up to Shaqarian tonight, by the way, filling in for Khalifa Marin Lassie. And both of them have been bringing all of the quotes and more. And there's been hell of a lot of quotes. And now we've got some super chats, so I'm going to read out. So we got our brother Adewale, big up Adewale. Adewale says, sure, you got to follow Eric Ten Hag back to the Netherlands.
No, what I wanted to say is that I actually made the call finally. I gave Jim Ratcliffe the call. I said I was going to do that, right? I gave him a call, and I'm the reason why he was sacked now. So we back Amorim. Now that's a new guy.
Okay, we don't have the profile of a player for Amorim right now, but he needs at least 15 months. But I will expect to see a setup even within the first. What is it? With the ship player. Sorry, sorry. Apologies, I'm getting a bit tired.
You are on the paper now. 15 months.
Yeah, there you go. Man's keeping records.
At least 15
He's
months.
putting that on the wall right there next to it. He's got everybody. He's got everybody. He's got something to tie you up to.
No. I'm just joking. But can I just explain, Nuruddin, quickly what I mean? Because Peter Alien Tenno made a brilliant point earlier today. We were on a stream together, and he talked about Amorim coming into this mess at the moment. He's been only in the Portuguese league for since 2020, I believe we saw on the chart. And when you coach, you're very busy with your own team. You don't get to follow football in the other leagues. And when he comes to Man United, his vision of Man United is what he knows from the media. He knows Rashford. He's a big player. He definitely knows Bruno because he's a hero in Portugal. He knows Dalot. Maybe he knows a little bit about the other teams, but not much. He needs to learn how the other manager plays. He needs to learn to know the players. He needs to know who to trust, who not to trust. He needs to know the environment, Carrington, everything. It takes time. And now he's coming in maybe to the Chelsea game, and everybody expects him to come in and change it all up. He will be the hero, but we are actually throwing him at the deep end with no experience. He knows nothing. I'm telling you guys, this can go either way, but it could go to hell It could go straight down. He could lose maybe the 7-8 first
Jarvis,
games.
Been to hell
me.
already.
He's a no wise.
Jarvis,
Because we're already in hell
We've
now,
been to
right?
hell already.
Can't get any worse.
Yeah, but I'm
Already
telling you.
now.
So don't get
7-0,
giddy.
Jarvis. 7-0. 7-0. 5-0. I watched
Jarvis,
5-0 Liverpool. Old
Jarvis.
Trafford.
I don't think
4-0. 3-0. I watched
I
it
don't
all.
think YouTube can take the United fan base if Amorim doesn't work out. If we end up losing even more games, I don't think the internet can take what will happen basically among the fan base. Because it's already.
But he's a good manager. Amorim is a really good manager. I know. I read about his tactics. I've seen a little bit now with clips from Sporting. I believe he can do this. But the problem is this team, these players, and we know he will play Bruno. Bruno will be a vital part of his team. He knows Bruno. He's Portuguese. He will be his captain. And we know Bruno. We can't be
Jarvis.
trusted. He will
Jarvis.
be the brick in this team, and we are again laying our hope and faith of Man United in Bruno's hands.
Jarvis,
I can't see.
I
this
agree.
working in the long run.
I agree with you. I agree of the fact that you worry about what might happen, right? But that's why I say the most important thing is the conversation that the board had with him before he was hired. If they put the pressure on him by saying that, hey, we want you to achieve Champions League 4 spots from the get-go, that's going to be a problem. But if they tell him that we are bringing you in for who you are, right, and we want you to stay true to that, and we'll give you all the backing that you need, whether we make Champions League at the end of the season or not, it does not matter. Just do what you need to do. I think he will be just fine, because the most important thing is not to compromise who he is. No, they're not bringing him in to adapt to the team. They're bringing him in so the team could adapt to what he's trying to do, and that's the most important.
Yeah, well, he's bringing in
Kenny.
3 coaches.
Yeah, big up Kenny. Kenny says, I want to see how he holds his nerve when things don't go well. Will he completely abandon his system like Ten Hag, or have the confidence and the confidence in his system and be preserved? Right? This is it. This is where it's going to be. There's a lot of tests for him. Loads of tests for him. Let me just get this super chat. So big up people. Adewale says here, we should also keep in mind that the Portuguese league is a lot tougher than the Eredivisie. A lot higher level players leave there to top clubs and succeed. Yeah, but you know what? There's only 3 clubs in that league, man. I'm telling you. There's 4 teams. Braga, Porto, Benfica, and Sporting. I don't hear about any other club.
We have a song for Amorim yet.
No, we don't. But we just say, give me something to put my hat on. Amorim in the house. Give me something to put my hat on. Give me something, Amorim. Give me something, Amorim. Give me something to put my hat on. Show me something. Show me something. Show me the fucking money, mate.
Okay,
No,
my brothers.
Can I just sorry,
Yeah,
Lemon,
yeah,
I just
go ahead,
want to address
go ahead.
a couple of guys in the chat. I'm not sorry because Ten Hag lost his job, and I'm not trying to frame it as Ten Hag was the good guy and now Amorim comes in and it will be bad. I'm not, believe me. You're missing my point, because I'm always about longevity and I want the manager to get a chance. So I'm trying to keep the expectations down for you guys. Don't get giddy. Do your job. Support Man United. Support this new manager, but don't put pressure on him so he will fail. We know the British media, they will hype him up as much as they can now in the beginning, and then not slowly but suddenly they will start tearing him down, go at him, telling you everything is wrong with the new manager. So it's up to us to support him and make this happen. We have to be patient. It will take at least 18 months. That's my prediction, and maybe 2 years.
Okay. I'm about to jump back on the road. I was just putting my last word.
Big up to you.
So what I want to say is that a manager is judged on 3 things. according, right? His in-game tactic, his man management, and the ability for him to to be outspoken in the team. Amorim is coming in. He's coming into the Premier League. The Premier League is full of competent managers. What is going to make and break him is that even though he comes with his tactic, a lot of managers are going to adapt. They're going to make adjustments based on that. He's gonna have to earn his money, and that is what I want to see.
Big up to
Big
you.
up, Lani.
Big up to you, Lawani. Make sure safe drive, brother. Take care out there in that.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks for bringing me in.
On the road again
Can you
before
let
you
us
leave.
know where you're going? Where's your
On the
destination?
road again.
On the road again.
Yeah. Where are you going? Can you let us know? Where are you going?
I'm going. I just came from Boston, so I'm heading to back home in New York. I have about 2.5 hours of driving ahead of
Yeah,
me.
that's close
So
to fun. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll
2
see you
hours?
guys. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yep.
Oh, that's not
Big
that
up.
far.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
late,
so,
so there is no traffic. The traffic is getting out of Boston. It was crazy, but right now it's about 8:45, so it's all
You'll
right.
be home by 10. You'll be home by 11. New
Yeah,
York.
I'll be home by 10. And tomorrow
Couple
I have
hours
to
ago,
go
guys.
again. I have to go again.
But
Yeah, son. If I get to California, I'll holler at you. Okay.
no worries. No, definitely.
Okay.
Maybe we'll watch a game together one of these days.
No problem. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
up Lawani.
You
Make
too,
sure you
you
follow
too,
Manwani
you too.
Lawani at Twitter. Make sure you check his Twitter out, people. Let's get these super chats. To be fair, tonight it's quite consensus. I agree with everything Jarvis has said, and I
We've
just
seen
want to
this
add.
before.
You know what? Sorry, I just want to add. I want to add one thing. I think that no one person can save us. Not one person. It's the fault of everything at Manchester United. I think that the Glazers are still in charge, and Ineos for me, I'm Ineos out. I've had enough of this shit. They made me suffer. They wasted 25% of the season by keeping Eric Ten Hag. Everybody knew it. He should have just gone out on the high, shook his hand, and said, "Tara," after the summer. After that cup final, both of them, because there was the evidence to show what he was doing and that how the players were not on board whatsoever. So for me, Ineos, bastards, get the fuck out of my football club because you have cost me the first 25% of the season. That's my thing. So Unai Emery, I hope your eyes are wide open. I hope you come here and you and your coaches can get amongst it straight away. And I wish you nothing but the best. Big up. Errado Almanza says, in order to succeed, we need to get rid of Bruno Rashford. Hoyland hasn't performed either. Not impressed so far. Big up to you, though. Appreciate the super chat. Amorim finished first, second, fourth, first, and currently first 10 games. The man sticks to his principle, kicks out players that doesn't work, Rashford and Bruno included, or he will meet the same fate as Eric Ten Hag. And I believe that.
100%.
I believe that. And that's why the club have to back him in the big decisions he makes at his football club. For me, I don't give a shit. If Bruno and Rashford perform and understand these tactics, Manchester United have won. We all have won. If he doesn't fit in and he gets rid of them, so be it. So be it. So for me, that's where we're at, people. I want every manager that comes to Manchester United to succeed.
Yes.
But I want every manager to come into this club with their wise eye open, looking for the snakes and the backstabbers, the briefers, the people who are going to brief against you. And for me, Ineos now are installed in Carrington. The director of football is there next to the manager's office. And the technical director is next to the director of football's office. So for me, all the players, none of this baby and mothering, anything goes down, they've got to sort it out. He's got to coach the players on the fucking football pitch. And he needs to be giving that. I would advise Amorim, get the fuck out of that Europa League bullshit, son. Get back to that training ground. Use your data analytics. Use what you need to do to drill a way of you playing football. You need to drill this. Innovative tactical formation. Focus on the development. Data-driven decision-making. You need to drill that ASAP. And for me, that's why I say, fuck Europe. Fuck it. I never want to be in Europa League anyway. Build a team that can actually be all right in the Champions League. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. But yeah, Sean, any more last words? By the way, we need 200 more likes, people. We need at least to get to 200 likes. So we need another 40 more likes. Go ahead.
Yeah, how many likes are we on at the moment? I think we are on 160 about. Yeah.
Let's go, people. Let's go.
40 more likes. Another interesting thing is, Nordin, how do you expect him to implement the youth into all of this? Because now he needs to assess all the players. And do you think it's possible for him to integrate more of the youth players now in the first 6 months or the rest of this season?
Yes, because we've got injuries, Jarvis. The injuries are not going to go away. So I expect him to use some of the youngsters. I'm just absolutely deviled and gutted that he didn't see Maxi or the Lade.
Or the LA, yeah.
Oh, I'm so fucking gutted. I wish he can watch it. I wish he can bring him back. I really hope and pray he can bring it back. Because I actually think he would like him. I really think he would like him. I think he would like Hollier, because Hollier is a very interesting. And I think the biggest thing what Amorim needs to understand is that you need players with legs in the league. You need players with legs, especially in and around the midfield. You need players who have got the movement, who can get the things are what I like about one of the most impressive thing what he's doing in Portugal. I'm not saying that he can translate that to the Premier League, but what he does is that he bamboozles defenders. He literally plays like he commits 6 players up the pitch. The passing comes from the midfield or sometimes the defenders, but the different ways that the different ways that teams try to work out where the attack is coming from and the one-touch football is really, really impressive. And he changes it. You know, the number 10s, sometimes the number 10, sometimes the number 8, that is linking the ball. And then the types of runs he wants the strikers to make. So I expect to see Zirkzee. One of the first things I need to do to change is Zirkzee and Højlund to be doing a lot of the, what we call the corridor. What we used to call the corridor runs. The flanks, making space and options for the wing backs to out wide spaces, you know, to go into the, not just staying central, to actually going either left or right, to give the team a different dimension, for them, the other players to combine. So there is so many things that he does that are really interesting and innovative, but can he translate that? That's the big fucking $8 million, $9 million a year he'll be getting.
I read that he liked to do the same thing as the Girona manager, Michel. He likes to overload on one side. Set up rotating triangles, if you understand what I mean. You rotate the triangle around, so you interchange position, but you still overload on one side, playing out, keeping possession, and then shift play over to the other side to set it up against one. So it will be interesting. But what I also read, they have a lot of off the ball movement and what we call dummy runs. People who just run a lot to drag out the opposition team out of position and create more pockets and space for the players to run into and play into. So the biggest problem is I don't see us having very intelligent players who can do this. You know, the only player I know who can do this is Mason Mount, who has a brilliant off the ball movement, but we don't have many of them.
One of the things that I noticed about him, Jarvis, is that he's into double movements and opposite movements. So double opposite movement, where players come to the ball, the other player makes the run. You know, you know that double movement. He's into that a lot. He understands that. But it's about the coaching. It's about how we can get his ideas across And that's why I'm saying get the fuck out of this Europa
The,
League.
the Serb is the master of double movement. You know, remember the pivot with McAllister and Caicedo,
Caicedo,
always. So yeah, it will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean
It
as
will
well.
be very, very interesting.
We also tend to forget that he's a former Benfica player coaching the major rivals in Sporting Lisbon. Those two are major rivals. Like they hate each other. So, it shows that somewhat, he's not scared of going into something, and trying out something and backing himself, and putting himself under pressure. So yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see how.
But another thing when it comes to Amorim, if he comes in, I believe he needs to make a statement at the moment he comes in, and I not mean like a something to say to the media, but to make a statement to the players, the group of players. Maybe bench Bruno in the first game, or take Rashford out of the team, just to prove to them that things has changed. So Nuruddin, or unless so, what type of statement do you think Amorim can do to shake things up?
For me, it's that he is super open-minded to everybody and he assesses the players accordingly. And that no fucking amount of fucking marketing, whether it's Rashford or Bruno, is going to sustain you into this fucking football team. System is king. System is king. It's not about individual fucking players. It's system. What's good for the team. That's the most important thing for me. So some people are saying he's going to love Bruno. Some people think he might not like Bruno. Some people think Bruno's going to be his captain because he's Portuguese. But for me, it's not the fact that the guy's Portuguese. He has to think about Manchester United and what he's coming into. So for me, if he tries to play through Bruno and Rashford like Ten Hag did when he first came, we all know where that train heads.
Yeah. It could work a couple of games, but then back to normal.
I actually think the same. I think more or less he needs to stamp his authority when he walks in there. It needs to be a breath of fresh air, and he needs to objectively look at things and not try and basically play someone based on their names or whether he knows them or not. He needs to see who fits his system, and the best way to do it is to actually try and implement his style and try and see who fits in and who doesn't fit in, and give everyone an equal chance to do so. And if those who cannot implement his style of play and follow his instructions, they need to be phased out. That's what he needs to do. This new ownership and structure, as we're told every time, is that they hear and they assess players individually. So any player, whether a new manager comes in or a different manager comes in, they will also look at that player, whether they've been performing in the space of 2 years. If within those 2 years they've not been consistent or shown something to at least for the club to back them on, then they are sold. That's how apparently they said they're going to operate. It's the same system they used in at City as well, with Parada as well. Barcelona as well used the same system. So for me, I'm going to look at that. That's the most important thing before I think I can make a whole analysis on the manager and his performances. I'm also going to look at how the club handles this players as well that are not performing, because we can't just be second managers alone and then leaving players out there, and it creates an imbalance. So yeah.
Big up Craig and big up to Nick Nash. Mr. Nick Nash. He said, already, I think they approached Zirkzee about replacing tonight in summer. He probably took a look at the Glazers and Ineos and told them to do one. That'd be great if he did that. Big up to Mateo, and big up to Craig as well. Big up to Sheikh Arian, Chief Editor United Real Therapy. Big up to Khalees. Big up to Elite Baller. Obviously, unfortunately, couldn't join us. Jarvis did send him the link, but he couldn't join us. But next time, hopefully. Big up to Peter. Big up to Lilas. Big up to every one of you people. Please, people, like the fucking video, right? It costs you absolutely nothing. Like the fucking video, people. Just like the video. It's
Yes,
absolutely.
we are slaving in the kitchen. We are
Yeah,
slaving in the kitchen. Give us
It's
a
2
like.
hours. Yeah, 2 hours. So let me update you. 93 people have voted. Let me update you on the
Paul.
yeah. So we said, how long should the fans give Amorim? 15 months, 39%. 18 months, 29%. 20 months, 14%. 30 months, 18%. So 30 months, 18%. 20 months, 14%. 18 months, 29%. 15 months, 39%.
But it should have been an
That's where-
option less than 6 months because we're not having that option. There's on the panel. we have
No.
two
I think
guys with 2 months.
I genuinely do think the first. I really think the first season is a hit. It's a free hit for any coach to come and establish his thing. It takes, especially a club like Manchester United, especially, and we can say that what we watched, we understand what our club is, how toxic the culture is, how there is this stench, you know what I mean, all over the walls, everywhere. So we need to give a new manager grace and wish him all the best. That's the biggest thing. I wish Amorim all the best, but I really hope he comes out with his eyes wide open and he knows all the trappings. His idol is Jose, so I don't know if his temperament is like Jose. It'd be interesting to see. But like Lesso said, he is a Benfica legend. He's managing Sporting Lisbon, and that tells you a bit about his character. And I repeat, he's won over 10 titles with Benfica. He's a legend at Benfica. And like Jose, he's a big Benfica fan. But boy, oh boy.
Do you think he has talked to Mourinho after he got linked to Man United just to
I
get
think so.
some inside information about the
100%.
club?
Yeah.
Who to look out for?
But I think anything that Jose would have told him was about the bankers in it. Now the Ineos are in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Arnold, the Woodwards are not there anymore. But Joe Glazer is there. So I think he'll ask him about who the fuck are these owners, what they're about, the vultures.
The Emperor himself,
and he would tell the trade.
Palpatine.
Yeah. So yeah. Big up to every one of you. Last word on the show.
Yeah, no, it's been a fruitful show. I'm glad that we actually got to sit down and dissect this whole thing with everyone present, and all the best to Amorim, man. And I like I say, I always want what's best for the club. I always back someone, but I can only back them according to what I see. So that's how I'm always gonna go with anyone that comes through this door, whether it's a player, whether it's a manager, whether it's whoever, whether it's a sporting director. I'm gonna expect the bare minimum. If you're at a club, if you at an institution that of this level and magnitude, you need to have a certain special characteristic, within you to be able to manage a job like this. So he's one of the, like I said, he's one of my top favorite managers at the moment. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we do next. I'm looking forward to seeing how Barada and Ashworth are gonna now operate, because now the ball is everyone's heads now and everyone's eyes are basically fixated on them now and seeing what they're going to do. No more Ratcliffe, no more Brailsworth. It's now Barada and Ashworth now who have the keys to the city now. Now let's see what they do with these players, and as well as let's see how they back this manager and ensure that he's a success.
Yeah, Jarvis.
Yeah, it's I think we covered it all. I think it was an interesting debate when it comes to the new manager, and I like what I see. I read a little bit about his tactics, about what he likes to do. People speak about the 3-4-3 or the 3-4-2-1 formation. Don't get hung up in that. It's just numbers. He likes to play out from the back with the back three, and then we have two sitting midfielders. So we create the M shape, and in attack we create the W shape with wingers, one striker, and two offensive midfielders. It will be interesting, and we will have fullback overlapping. We will depend on crosses. We will depend on players coming into the box. We will depend on having players who can break the lines with the passes from deep. That's where I think there's a big issue, because Casemiro, we saw him against Liverpool when he tried that. It's not ended well. So we could be facing a lot of gaping holes in the midfield, overcommitting people up front, as we seen under Ten Hag, even though we play with another formation. So be aware, but I think we have to just give it time, because we know this group of incompetent players can't do all of these things. We know this already. So he needs at least I would say at least 2 summer transfer windows in a way, so he can change out a couple of these guys. And if we can do that, I think we can come back and play really good football, because as we have seen with Sporting, brilliant manager. Can he recreate it at Man United? That's the biggest question.
That's the biggest question to be answered. And we wish him luck on that. We wish him luck in this channel. We will have the real conversation, the substance conversation. I don't think people are having that conversation. People are getting a bit too giddy. But I hope that the giddiness is rewarded. I really hope that. I really, really hope that. I just hope the culture can be changed. And I hope that he does it his way. So when he walks away, he'll go, you know what? I did it my way. I did it my way. I actually think he might not even the hang-ups about with the 3 at the back. He might go to 4. He might think this is a different league. He might innovate again. Young managers innovate. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it would be what it would be. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And yes, I'm glad that he's getting his team. Yeah, it's a massive step at United TV. Yeah, United is a big step. I mean, hopefully we can be successful. Yeah, that's all we hope and pray. But he has to show me something. For me, give me something. Give me something for me to let me hang that hat. Show me something, 2, 3 things to throw my hat on. Let me hang my hat. That's the biggest expression I would pay to him. But welcome, Ruben Amorim. I remember watching you as a player for Benfica, and I hope that you will succeed. But please do it your way and make sure that you do it with fairness. No, don't listen to the fucking club. Don't sign that paper. Don't sign that contract. You have to play who you want to play, who gets your thing, and those players who don't understand your system, they'll have to go. But yeah, in January, because we are limited by what we're going to spend, he'll have to sell to buy. It's going to be interesting that we're going to be linked with loads, mark my words, in the coming weeks and months, Manchester United are going to be linked with loads of Portuguese-based players. So, things like that. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'll be going to see Rude take the game against Leicester. Win, lose or draw. We'll be back here tomorrow night breaking it down. Hopefully with Jarvis, with Lesso, and maybe Sean and the rest. Tom, I hope you're watching this. I hope you're enjoying yourself in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Big up, Tom.
Big up, Tom. Enjoy. But yeah, big up. Let me just see if I've missed anything else. No, we covered all the super chats. Win, lose, draw, Glazers, Ineos. Get the fuck out of this football club. You absolute bastards. Number 1, 2. Free Sudan, free Lebanon, free Palestine, free Tigray, free Haiti, free Ogaden, free anywhere in this world where people are feeling oppressed. Solidarity with everybody. Yeah, and stop the war in Ukraine while we're there as well. Even though it's the West that's using the NATO to encroach on Russian. Stop what they're doing there. Stop using Ukrainian bodies as fodder for a proxy war between America and Russia. That's what we need to stop. So stop the genocide, end apartheid, decolonize. Fuck you. to all the Zionists. You genocidal, G-side maniacs. Good night. Up the Irish. Up the Irish. Yeah. Love, love. Take care, people. Love and light. And big up to Sheikh Harry, Chief Editor United Real Therapy. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. And make sure you follow Khalis Ramadin Lassi on Twitter as well. Free Palestine. I'd like to thank my two guys. Lesso, who was with us. Make sure you follow Luwani Amawani Luwani on Twitter. Make sure you follow Lesso Football TV on YouTube and at Black Rain on Twitter. Make sure you check out Bowley 77. Man like Jarvis Cooker. And also make sure you check Jarvis on Monday night, 9 o'clock. Man UFC Realist TV, Jarvis Corner. What have it? It was a really good show. Really, I was out and about and I was tuning in and I jumped on. So big up to Jarvis.
It was a good show yesterday. We had Andy Tate on. You came on. A lot of guests.
Big up Andy Tate.
Yeah.
Big up Andy Tate. I'm not seeing him or heard from him lately, so big up Andy Tate. Hope he's well. But big up to everybody. Love and light. Take care of yourselves. And those of you who asked about Twitter, there you go, people. There you go. Love and light. Good night.
Good night.
Night, people.